Hi, it's Michaelwudyka. Sorry, I'm shooting this all alone. I don't have gear here to help me, so thank you for the opportunity. Again, this is Michaelwudyka, and I wanted to elaborate a little bit about healthcare in general and my thoughts and philosophies on that. I go to the doctors, I go often, probably every 6 months. A couple of things that I do: I get my blood pressure checked, make sure my cholesterol's right, make sure, check, God forbid, any social diseases or anything happens along those lines. I want to make sure my heart is healthy, and basically do the overall routine as far as that's concerned. Western philosophy, Western medicine is unbelievable when it comes to understanding exactly what the outlook is. I don't know internally if you could ever really know whether you have high cholesterol or bad blood pressure without going to see those certain things. So, in my opinion, I think it's really important to actually go, whether it's every 6 months or minimally every year, to go and get those things checked. Obviously, checking for cancer and lumps and all the things you should be checking, especially as you get a little bit older, are really important. My mom died of an aneurysm when she was 46 years old. She had a brain hemorrhage, and she never really went to the doctors. She was a heavy smoker, didn't really drink, but it was one of those things that really thought, when I was younger, said, I'm going to make sure I get checked, because you never really know. I've had my head checked through MRIs and CAT scans, and that's another thing that's really important to know. A lot of my friends recently have just had a lot of heart attacks, and so I went and I actually had my heart checked. I had all the valves checked. I made sure that my blood was flowing properly. And I think only with Western medicine you can actually do certain things like that. Some of the Eastern philosophies, I really don't know enough about them, but I really was put at peace and ease when I did a stress test. And they told me for the next 10 years the likelihood is that 99% I won't have any sort of heart disease or heart failure. All my arteries are running well. And this happened after my brother-in-law and a very close friend just had triple bypasses. They were reasonable, good health. They took care of themselves, got checkups, but they never went the extra distance as far as checking those things. So it's important to me to do that preventive maintenance and look into it and make sure that your body is running properly, making sure that you're eating right and doing all those sorts of things. I think there's a lot of issues or problems with the way Western medicine is actually maintained or run as a business. My philosophy and the way I live my life is I want to know if something's bothering me. I want to know if my shoulders hurt and not just put a Band-Aid on it. I think taking pharmaceutical drugs, for the most part, aren't generally a good idea. I have a bit of an ulcer, so I do take some of the over-the-counter stuff that helps do the acidic basis. But if I actually knew something a little bit better about holistic, I probably would eat better grapes or vines or whatever the hell I got to eat in order to make my stomach so I wouldn't have to do any sort of prescription. But for the most part, I really want to know what ails me. I want to make sure that I stretch it, and if I had tore a rotator cuff in my shoulder, I wanted to mend it back. Now, I had gotten a couple of cortisone shots, and it was wonderful, but I didn't know whether I was getting better, whether I was doing worse, or whether I was tearing it up for future damage. So those are the things I really want to know about. I want to feel my body. I want to be able to rough it out. I want to know exactly how I feel and what I feel. No different than when I was doing my Ironman or when I ran my marathons or when you're putting up with your kids day to day. I really want to know and feel it and be in the moment. And being in the moment, I think, is so important to everyone. I don't want to just put a Band-Aid. I just don't want to have a fix. I want to actually go through it and experience it. Now, I think that there's so many people nowadays that are just strictly out of shape. They don't care about themselves. They don't work out. They don't try and even simple push and sit-ups. I mean, in the morning, get up, do a couple of push-ups, do a couple of sit-ups, do some stretching. It isn't so hard. Park the car a little bit further. Take the stairs on occasion. All of those things are really important philosophies that I live by and I think are really important, and just not enough people are doing it. I don't want the medical system to go out and just, if you have a headache, to be able to put on it. Work on it. Understand what the stress is. Do some reflexology, do some massages, and those are the types of things that I really actually believe in and live by. It's important for me to be in the moment. It's important for me to understand and have these experiences. And not only that, I want to make sure that I'm not hurt for long term. The reason I do certain local health care and do those sorts of things is I want to know if I'm going to die, because if I'm dying, I'm definitely spending my kids' trust. So they're going to be out of business. But seriously, I just want to know, God forbid, if I have any major ailments, if I have I've had my head checked for under an MRI for any sort of aneurysms, because it does run in the family. Obviously, I have diabetes in the family. I want to make sure that I check on that early on in doing those sorts of things. But again, if I have other knowledge and resources and abilities to do things more holistic, I definitely would do that. I would leave all the other stuff away. I would definitely still get my blood work checked. Actually, genetically, we have arthritis in the family, and I'm going to get something checked regarding my joints because they hurt so much. And I just want to make sure that it's not a genetic disposition. So I believe in toughing it out, but I also, I'm not going to say no to the modern medicine and modern sciences, but I'm not going to sign up just for everything. Every time I have a sprained ankle, just to drug it and ice it and kind of numb myself to it. Some of the different alternatives that I believe in, the entire world has been working in learning different things, and I want to experience that. I want to go out there and see what else is out there, how I can make myself and my family and the people around me better. I want to understand and experience all the different things that the world has to offer, and not just in a closed caption where all of a sudden, it's only what they want to tell you. I don't get sick. I've never been sick. I've never missed a day of work. I don't get sick because I choose not to get sick. And I think there's better things out there. And I think that if you get in the mindset, in the mental mind frame, that's 90% of the battle. If I choose not to get sick because I don't have the time or don't have the ability, I just don't get sick. I'm not saying I don't have a sore throat or those sorts of things that happen, but I don't miss work. I never have. I think probably 10 or 12 years in school, never missed a day of school. So it's one of those things I just choose not to do. I choose not to be sick. A couple of things that I probably wouldn't do as far as the all-natural approach or the Eastern philosophy or different philosophies is I don't know if I would put myself in harm's way to, let's say, cure an upset stomach. I'm not going to jump off a cliff into shallow water just in order to make sure that my stomach doesn't bother me. I have insomnia. I don't sleep that much. I probably get 2 or 3 hours on occasion. I actually do melatonin, which is an all-natural thing to help me sleep, but I'd love to be able to find something that helps me sleep. Now, I don't know about walking on hot coals or doing something completely off my rocker for it, but I really think that there'd be certain things out there that help, chamomile and certain other herbs that probably would help me do that. So, I'm open for anything. I definitely don't want to put my life at risk because I have 2 boys that I want to share the rest of my life with, and really excited about it. But most importantly, I think there's a great experience. There's life and different opportunities out there, and I really want to enjoy those, and I want to take it, and I want to make myself and the people around me better because of it. So again, this is Michaelwudyka. I really appreciate the opportunity, and thank you so much.